So, does anybody remember that one movie called Ratatouille? Apparently, it did really good. It got 4.8 stars out of 5, got 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, got 8 out of 10 on IMDb. It's about a rat that dreams of becoming a great chef. Despite being a rat, he lives in Paris, and all his rat friends and rat family don't believe that he could become a great chef because he's a rat. Pretty much it, inspires you to follow your dreams. Does anybody remember that movie? Because this is definitely not that movie.
Ratatoing.
Alright, so this movie is called Ratatoing. It's pretty much the ghetto version of Ratatouille, the bootleg version of Ratatouille, the
garbage
version of Ratatouille. Ratatouille came out June 29th, 2007, and Ratatouille came out the same year, 2007. On IMDb, it got 1.6 out of 10 and 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Alright, so right in the beginning of Ratatouille, it pretty much starts off with just some weird camera angles of the kitchen, and we can pretty much just let you know how bad the animation is going to be for the rest of the movie. That's pretty much, I guess, the whole purpose of the beginning. It literally does this for 2 minutes straight. Like, literally. And then it cuts to the narrator, and the narrator starts narrating pretty much the setting of it. And it shows the Jesus statue in Rio de Janeiro, but for some reason the narrator never says that it's in Rio. He just says this city, this amazing city all the time. Like, I don't know, like he's not allowed to say Rio or something. I don't understand it. Pretty much the plot of this movie, it's this rat, and his name is Marcel Toing, and I guess he's the owner of the best restaurant in all of Rio de Janeiro. And pretty much, people are trying to steal his secret Krabby Patty formula, and so he has to go into humans' restaurants and steal their ingredients to make his meals the best. And yeah, that's literally it. And as you can see, the animation is pretty horrifying. I mean, look at their jaws. Like, their jaws are so twitchy. Look at his teeth. His teeth are so, like, he has good teeth, don't get me wrong, but I mean, he's a rat. Like really, like, send help, please. And if you thought that the animation was bad, just wait till you hear their voices. If you hear their voice, your ears might bleed. I'm about to have a clip of their voices, and I would recommend probably not listening to it unless you want your ears to bleed.
Ready to order?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Everything looks so good, it's hard to know what to get. But I think I'm going to order the mushroom and moss puree with orange sauce. Would you recommend this dish?
It's a very good choice, sir. I'll bring it quickly.
No, wait, I'm not sure yet.
See, you see exactly what I mean. It's so overly obnoxious. Like, why would you decide to do that? They chose to put that in this movie. I do not understand. Anyways, once that monstrosity ends, then there's this one point where all the customers are asking the waitress if they can see the chef to talk to him because the food was so good. When the chef, who's also the owner, Marcel Toing, when he comes out to talk, then they ask him what he puts in his food to make his food so good. And his response is, for lack of a better word, how do I put this? Super unnecessarily freaking stupid.
But please tell me, young man, what is the secret of the great flavor in every one of the dishes you prepare?
Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a secret anymore.
Oh, please, won't you tell me, young man?
All right, I'll tell you.
Oh, now's our chance. Now is our chance.
He's actually going to say it.
Quick, grab your notebook and write down every single word.
The actual secret ingredient that can be found in all of the food prepared here is lots of...
Come on, out with it.
Lots and lots and lots of...
With lots of?
With lots and lots and lots of...
This guy is just driving me crazy.
The dishes are prepared with the secret ingredient of a lot of dedication and care.
Same guys, same. Like, honestly, after seeing that was just so painful. I almost cried for real. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, but that waitress girl, the way she walks is just really, I don't know, just watch.
Hello.
Ew,
Well,
ew,
it's
ew,
turning out to
why?
be
That's
some
so,
night tonight, huh,
ew,
Marcel?
no, why? You know, that really makes me wonder if they made her walk like that on purpose, because I feel like the way she walks is, like, way too sexy or something. It's, I don't know, it's, no, like, it shouldn't be a thing.
The worm burger with cheddar.
Junior, you really need to stop eating the junk food. It's not healthy for you.
Have a heart, dear. Let the boy have what he wants.
Yes, Daddy, I love cheddar.
Hey, same man. Who doesn't love cash monies? So, plot twist, those guys who were asking Marcel for his secret Krabby Patty formula, they turned out to be bad guys. What a surprise. What? That doesn't sound familiar at all. I can't think of anything that has a plot like that. What? But so after that, then Marcel decides that he needs to go to the human's kitchen to collect ingredients for his food. And so they have a whole minute and a half scene of them suiting up, just throwing spy gear on, I guess, to get ready to go to the kitchen. It's, like I said, a minute and a half, which is unnecessarily long, and the whole time they're just grunting and moaning in just a really uncomfortable way. It's really uncomfortable, really disturbing to watch. And then there's this part where they're walking in slow motion, and it's pretty disturbing. I mean, look at the guy on the right. Look at his hands. Why is he walking like? Look at the girl on the left. Why? Why were they walking? Her hands were just straight up. The guy on the right was, his hands were just, he couldn't close his hands for some reason. Oh my god, shake my head. So, once the three rats make it into the kitchen, I guess Marcel uses his scanner thing to look at some plates. He looks at some salt and pepper shakers. And then I guess his scanner thing tells people where the fresh foods are. So that's why that thing is just highlighted red. It's fresh strawberries. And so in order for Marcel to get the strawberries, he decides he's going to take out his grappling hook, and he grapples the fan with his grappling hook. He swings across the room like he's Tarzan or something, and grabs his strawberry. Unfortunately, the green rat, his name is Greg, he accidentally turns on the fan. And so now, that puts Marcel in a bad place, because now he's swinging around the room like crazy. There's just a rat just flinging around the kitchen. So they're trying to save Marcel from the spinning fan. And so the green guy's like, hey, I'm gonna go and grab his hand, because they'll stop the fan. Nope, it just pulls him along with Marcel. So now the green guy, Greg, and Marcel are both spinning from the fan. And so there's just a pink girl left, and so she has to figure out what to do. And the way she figures out how to turn off the fan is just overly painful. It's just super unnecessary.
Greg, how did you turn that thing on?
I think I pushed the switch.
What switch?
They pushed the button behind you.
Did you say pull?
No, not pull the button. Push the button.
Are you saying button?
Yes, button. I mean switch.
Did you say button or switch?
The button is a switch.
What switch? Oh, button. I get it.
Why are you like this? It's so annoying. It's so unnecessary. Like, did you not just see Greg turn the switch on when he first pushed it? She turned and looked at him. She saw him push the button, and now she just has amnesia and just completely forgot that he pushed the button, and so she has no idea where the switch is. It makes no sense, and it's just really annoying to see. Also, maybe I'm just uneducated or something, but like, there's some sausage links hanging off of the wall. I don't, like, who has that in their kitchen? I don't know if, maybe they just do that in Rio de Janeiro or something, but I know for sure this doesn't ever happen in the US. Imagine just like taking a hammer and nail and just hammering a nail to the wall, just so you could hang up a link of sausages like it's a painting or something.
That was too adventurous, guys.
Let's just say we weren't ready for that human merry-go-round.
I'm afraid I don't find that to be particularly funny, Greg.
Yeah, man, like, totally uncool, bro. Come on, dude. So uncool of you to do that.
I hope Ottavio remembered to lock the front door.
So this guy, Ottavio, he was supposed to remember to close up the store, the restaurant, like lock the doors and stuff, but I guess he forgot to, even though he had that ribbon on his finger. And so now, that let the bad guys break in, and they were able to see that Marcel and all his friends were stealing food from the human kitchen. He's like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna walk home really weirdly now. Hey, for real, like, tell me why he walks like he's a DJ in training or something. So now the four bad rats are talking about Marcel. They're talking all to each other about Marcel and how Marcel gets the good food and how they have to use the food from the trash and crap. And then they're like, well, we have to make a plan. We have to find a way so that these rats, Marcel and his friends, can't get the food from the kitchen anymore. So they decide that they need to scare the humans so that the humans put up traps. But what they do to scare the humans is really weird. Honestly, if I was one of these humans, I would be scared too. Like, I'm sorry that you had to see that. Like, for me, after seeing that, I'm probably gonna have nightmares for at least a year and a half. I'm gonna be honest though, like, that wasn't even the worst part. Like, there's one part coming up, they try to animate a certain animal and it just doesn't work out at all. I don't know, like, why it's so bad. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just out of budget or something to animate it good. I don't know. Just wait, you'll see it. You'll know when it happens. Once you see it, you'll know this is exactly what I'm talking about. And so, pretty much, after all that, the humans are like, hey, we should probably put up mouse traps because there's some rats in our kitchen, and that's nasty. And so then it cuts to a week later. The girl walks still weird, and then I guess the customers at Ratatoing are tired of eating the strawberry, and so then Marcel and his friends are like, hey, we should go back to that kitchen and get more food. So you know what that means. Yes, they literally did the same exact suiting up scene. The same exact scene for the same exact minute and a half. And they suit up, they grunt and moan the whole time for a whole minute and a half again. They run past each other like 4 times for some reason, and they still have the slow-mo walk at the end because it's the same exact suit up scene for a minute and a half for no reason whatsoever. And so once they make it into the kitchen, then Marcel looks around with his goggle thingies and he sees tons of fresh food. And he's like, hey, I'm about to go get that fresh food. But then the pink girl is like, oh, make sure you watch out because they might be on traps. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He grabs one piece of cheese and it's on a mouse trap and it flicks. And the pink girl is like, I knew that there'll be traps. even though we've never had traps before, so I have no reason to suspect that there will be traps, but I still think that there's traps.
Oh, don't trust anything, Marcel. They might be traps. Be careful, Marcel. I have a bad feeling about tonight. Hey, Marcel, are you okay?
The food is attached to a trap.
I knew there'd be trouble. We never saw traps here before.
Something that I just noticed, you know how I guess Marcel's goggles like can see freshness, I guess, but when he looked around, he saw cheese, and the cheese was highlighted. Cheese isn't fresh. Cheese is anything but fresh. Cheese is like the definition of unfresh, but it still saw it. That doesn't make any sense. And so now Marcel is just like, hey, you know, things do look a bit different around here. I should go check things out. And so he decides to just walk around the kitchen, really weirdly like the guy before who was DJing or something with his hands. Just watch. Holy crap, look at all those traps. What? There's even more traps than that. Oh my god, we got this traps. Let's move on, jeez. So at this point, Marcel sees some chocolate, and so he uses his grappling hook to get up on top of the counter and tries to pick up the chocolate. And he's sitting there trying to pick up the chocolate for about 30 seconds, and it's really tedious and really unnecessary. And then it pans over to what I was talking about earlier, the most horrifying animation to ever exist.
What do you mean?
Can't talk now.
Holy. What the crap, did you see that? Oh my god, that's so bad. Why does the cat look like that? Oh my god. I'm scared for my life right now. So pretty much what happens is Marcel grabs the chocolate, the cat is chasing after him, and Marcel is able to surf away on top of the chocolate. But sadly, I guess Marcel had to drop the chocolate because it was too heavy for him to make it out. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do now? We don't have any food. And they're like, well, we can't face the cat, so we have to go back home. Something that I actually just noticed, these rats, they're like the bad guys. They're the competition. They own their own restaurant. And so if they own their own restaurant and they're competition against Marcel, against Ratatoing, then why do they eat there like every single night? They're just helping out the Ratatoing like crazy. Meanwhile, the girl's walking really weirdly again. So now Marcel and the other rats are all like, oh man, we had no customers show up besides the owners of that other restaurant. So now they're like, well, if we want more customers, guess what we gotta do? Yes, they literally do it for the third time in the whole movie. Wow. Like, we get it. We get it. You don't need to do this 3 times in a movie. Oh my god, once again with the slow-mo walking and the weird hands. And so now, when they're walking to the kitchen, the bad guys see them walk into the kitchen, and so they decide to just follow them. So pretty much when they get into the kitchen, Marcel sees a big wheel of cheese, and he's like, hey, so Greg and Carol, Carol's the girl's name, is like, he's just like, hey, Greg and Carol, go and get that cheese, and I'm gonna distract the cat. And his way of distracting the cat is pretty much just getting chased by the cat the whole time, and he's just running from the cat. And so the bad guys try to confront Greg and Carol. They have some toothpicks in their hand, and they try to, you know, threaten them, be like, hey, give me the cheese right now, or else I'll, I guess, shank you with these toothpicks. And then literally Greg is just like, what about you go get some yourself? And they're like, that's a good idea, we should do that. And they literally change their mind within 1 second.
Hold it right there. Give us everything you have in your bags and make it quick.
And we do mean everything you've got. But why? Don't you think there's enough cheese here for all of us? Go get your own, but watch out for the traps.
You're absolutely right.
So Carol is then like, hey, what the? Oh god, you have a monster behind you. And they're like, what? We're not gonna fall for that. Who do you think we are, stupid people? And I guess they are stupid because there actually was there was a cat behind them and I guess Marcel was able to befriend the cat. And so now they're back home, and Greg and Carol are like, how the heck were you able to befriend that cat? I mean, he's a cat. And Marcel was like, oh, well, I just offered him food from my restaurant. And luckily, he wasn't very hungry before when he was chasing me, so he didn't eat me. So yeah, I mean, that's the end, I guess. I mean, the cat regularly eats at Ratatoing now. The two bad guys, for some reason, were sent to some underground lab out of town. Or at least that's what the two girl bad guys said. And yeah, it just ends with them laughing and the green guy saying precisely for a really annoying reason.
Precisely! Precisely!
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Greg, the green guy, he says precisely literally 9 times throughout the whole movie. He really needs to just shut up.
Precisely! 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 Precisely!